right. So, hello everyone. My name is Kevin, and I am in the supply chain emphasis currently, fall of 2013. I'll be graduating in April of 2014, and I'm talking today with Jonathan, who works down at Walmart currently. So, Jonathan, would you like to tell us a little bit about what it is that you do for Walmart and help us understand your job?
Yeah. So I went through the supply chain emphasis, and at Walmart, I've learned a lot through the supply chain to be able to do my job. So my job is titled Replenishment Analyst. So overall, what I do is make sure there's inventory in the stores. This goes through working with the suppliers, working with your team, working in transportation, working all the way to the store level, make sure they have inventory. So we control, or we help to make sure we hit the sales, we control the inventory, the turns, the gross profit, and make sure we get return on investment on all our items. So you do this in many different ways on um, controlling the forecast. So I got about 450 items I have to watch. So my job is to make sure the forecast is aligned and to make sure they come in. Right now I'm in the toy department, so it's very important. You don't look in the past, but look in the future, because you sell one item now, and then in a couple weeks you're going to be selling 30 a week. So it's very important that you get your forecast aligned, or the system won't order what you need. With this, I work with the buyer to be able to they buy the product. The planner is more to keep the budget and to tell me what if we're on budget or not, and what I need to do to make the switches in the system. And also an order specialist is more to create the item sort of below you. So you work in a four-man team to be able to figure out what you need to do to hit all your goals for the company and to make the sales and the profit.
All right. Yeah, that sounds quite involved.
Yeah, you're
So
very
what
very involved.
So what is it? Can you help us understand what you learned through the supply chain emphasis at BYU-Idaho that's kind of um, been a driving help to your job right now?
Yeah. So all the classes comes in handy. Every job's a little bit different. Uh, for me, uh, I've enjoyed to excel in VBA, and I actually took a VBA class before supply chain. So with two VBA classes, it helped me a lot more to understand VBA. So that's what I sort of specialize in. I'm sort of more of and I call myself a little bit unique just because a lot of people don't specialize in that.
Yeah.
But if you do, it makes a big difference in a job, because if you can build your own reports and to be able to organize the data and be able to drop the data and click a button, organize it, and then tell your boss what's going on in 30 seconds instead of, hey, give me 10 minutes, I got to go get the data, you make a big difference for your company. So one thing I've done, I built two programs that all replenishment managers inside of Walmart now uses to be able
Uh-huh.
to pull back data, and it saves them hundreds of hours a
Wow.
year. And it's pretty nice. So that's one of my specialties I've learned. You need to make sure you learn all the basics from safety stock, return on investment, but you got to remember every company uses a totally different safety stock formula. So I remember learning the very basic one there, and I came out here and it's totally different. And I remember when they were teaching me the safety stock, it was a PowerPoint of like about 6 or 7 lines of just a formula of safety stock, and
Wow.
so no one memorizes it. The system does in the background, but you need to understand the logic of it. So if you can understand the logic, what you learn in those classes, it'll help you out in the fields.
Cool.
Um, Another one, and that was the supply chain modeling class. Risk management. I do a lot with forecasting and trends. So you got to see what the trend is and what's happening, because sometimes there's a promotion, or another Toys R Us does a reduced cost on the item. So we have to figure out how, because we'll match them. So we have to figure out, hey, how much will that bring up sales? Is it online? Is it being
Yeah.
advertised other places? So there's many other things you got to look into to see where the trend's going. So there's a lot of different things you learn through the program. And just to let you know, there's a couple other BYU-I students in the toy department, and they really like the students what we learn in supply chain.
That's good. That's good to know. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So one last question here. So with you've gone through the program, you graduated, got a job
Mm-hmm.
with Walmart for a little while now. What would you, going back through school again, what would you try and make sure to focus on learning, or is there something that wasn't necessarily taught as part of the program that you feel would be beneficial for us to branch out and learn, kind of on our own through another class?
Yeah. To me, the biggest one piece, more piece, I'm more in the coding, is learning SQL. Because most businesses don't have a way to grab the data, so you have to go fetch it yourself. So if you can be a person that can analyze data and build macros, and also to go get it, you
Yeah,
make a big difference in a company. I talked to other people outside of Walmart that are graduated, and they've had to pick it up at the business. But if you can say, hey, I know SQL, I know how to pull back data, and then analyze it and build tools for it, you're gonna make your job so much easier. You're gonna be more productive, and you're gonna make everybody happy. Example, I didn't have SQL. I learned it here out in at Walmart, and yesterday they had some bad data, so they asked me to be able to pull some data because I knew SQL. I knew how to build tools. I was able to do it in under an hour, where it would have taken them a full day to do. So,
wow.
so to me, knowing SQL and supply chain, because you got to look at data all the time, you know that, that'll make a big difference. Another thing is it's not. It depends on the business, but Access, especially if you go to a smaller company, they don't have SQL. They have more of Access. So if you
Okay.
know Access, that's a plus. It just depends where you go. But bigger companies don't use it too much. And then I will also say to be a manager skill, like people, make sure you can communicate. Because if you can't communicate your data, you're not going to do well on making progress. Like, hey, this is what I do. This is what will help the company. If you can't execute that, they won't listen to you and it won't be worth anything. So
Absolutely.
probably those
Yeah.
three things would help me the most.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, just to review, make sure we have them all. So, learn
Yeah,
SQL, learn Access a little bit, and then management, being able to communicate what you've got as far as data goes.
correct.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time. We're glad to hear that our alumni are doing well and making a
Yeah,
difference in the world. And President
it's
Ireland
great.
said that the graduates from BYU-Idaho would become legendary. So hopefully, we continue on that upward course.
I agree. Thank you so much, Kevin.
All right. Thank you.